Welcome, everybody. Hi. So good to see you all. And so, as we start today, maybe just taking in a deep breath and just doing a quick check in with yourself and seeing how you're doing today. Noticing what's in the body. Is there any tension? Noticing what's in the mind. Are there any thoughts around? Of course, there are. There's always thoughts. And so, just noticing. And what is the most predominant emotion right now? What are you feeling? So just doing a check-in. So welcome, everyone. If you're new, my name is Alex Meses, and this is a guided meditation. And then we open it up for a bit of reflections, sharing, questions. And then we do our informal practice, which is going in small groups. So that being said, let's just get comfortable. So whether you're sitting or lying down, you can do this practice anywhere you like. Or you can stand even if you like to. And so we've been talking a lot about communication lately, and we're going to continue on today. And we're going to explore a little bit of what Gregory Kramer established as inside dialogue. So we're just going to maybe just refresh our minds if you already know it, or maybe just learn a little more about it. So it's interesting because this is one of my most difficult practices. I don't know if that's your case, but I always feel like it's difficult to kind of not just speak, and I always feel like Zoom has our best interest in a lot of ways. This mute and unmute button allows us for a little bit of a pause before we speak. So I wish I had a pause button like this, a mute and unmute. I could mute myself any moment and I could think before I speak in a little more. So I thought that'd be interesting for today. And so let's just start with our formal practice by just sitting comfortably, eyes open or eyes closed, whatever works for you. And then maybe just taking in a deep breath, filling up that belly, and exhaling long. And one more time, taking in a deep breath, filling up that belly, and exhaling long. And this time, as you take in a deep breath, maybe just checking in with the body, noticing any tension. And on a long exhale, just releasing any tension or any tightness that might be here. And just allowing yourself to become quite familiar with where you are, the surface that's holding you, whether that's a chair or a cushion. And just allowing the body to really gently, very safely sink into the surface that's holding you. Fully supported, allowing gravity to keep you in place here, cradled by the earth. And then just resuming to breathing normally, noticing how when you don't even make any effort, the body still breathes. And so all we're doing is just becoming aware of the in breath, the out breath, the sensation of the breath as it comes into the body, the sensation of the breath as it goes out into the world, and feeling the rising of the body on the in breath and the falling on the out breath. And checking in with the body for any tension or tightness, seeing if you can soften around the tension, around the tightness. And that might involve switching your pose a little bit, adjusting in one way or another. So noticing if there's any straining on the shoulders or the neck, noticing how the hips are aligned, the feet, becoming aware of where your hands are in this moment, noticing if they're in contact with the body or not. And if they are, just paying attention to what it feels like when they are. Is there warmth? Is there coolness? What's the temperature? Is there numbness or tingling? Is there nothing at all? Noticing that too, the absence of sensation. So just taking one conscious breath after another, And without really changing the breath or controlling, just becoming aware. That's what it means. Kind awareness towards this body breathing. Even if you don't feel the breath that much, the body's still breathing. Perhaps you might feel the rising and the falling, the coolness of the air and the warmth as it leaves the body. Or maybe just becoming aware that the body is breathing in any other way. And if there's a storm of thoughts coming your way, one after the other, just acknowledging the thoughts, maybe even noticing what they're about, and then quickly moving back to the breath or the body here. Bringing your attention to your feet or your hands can be helpful. Whenever you're ready, taking in a deep breath with me. And on a long, long exhale, shifting your attention and allowing your attention now to rest in this body. So noticing the back of the body, the front, noticing your feet. And paying close attention to those areas of the body that are in contact with the surface holding you. So whether it's the floor, the chair, the cushion. And noticing all the sensations here in the body. So maybe coolness or warmth or tingling or numbness, or maybe there might be a difficult sensation present in the body. So if you notice that, you can always come back to the breath. And then join back, checking in for those areas that are not difficult. Whenever your mind goes into the story, just coming right back to the sensation in itself. It's just for a moment, let's stay here with the body. Checking in for tension or tightness. Checking in with the jaw, the face. And then whenever you're ready, taking in a deep breath with me again. Filling up that belly, and on a long, long exhale, just shifting your attention once again. And this time we're going to expand our attention to include sounds. So just noticing all the sounds in the place you're in, the sounds within yourself, the body, breathing, sounds outside. And perhaps you might notice judgment in the sounds. I like, I don't like, beautiful, not so beautiful. Seeing if you can just tune into sound itself and noticing the rhythm, the pitch, the volume of the sound without even labeling it, but just listening. And if you're wearing noise canceling headsets, it might be silent for you. So noticing the silence. And we're not looking for any sounds in particular. We're just allowing sounds to come to our awareness without us looking for anything. We're just opening up to sound. And now taking in a deep breath again. And on a long exhale, shifting your attention and allowing yourself to open up to thinking, the thinking process of the mind. And just noticing the thoughts as they come and go without entertaining them, without getting carried away by them, but just noticing them. There might be thoughts about planning, things to do. So just noticing what comes your way and allowing it to pass. So just kind of releasing them away. But opening up to the possibility of just being here with the thoughts as well. We don't have to make them go away. We don't have to suppress any thinking. We're just watching. And thoughts might come as words and numbers, images. So if you get caught in a little movie clip, that's thinking mind going in a story. So just coming back to just watching every time you notice that. You might notice how thoughts kind of appear out of nowhere and they have a little bit of a lifespan, very short, and then they pass. So noticing that lifespan of the thought rising, becoming, and passing. And then the next thought comes in. So just noticing that. And now taking in a deep breath with me again. And a long exhale. We're going to shift gears a little bit, and now we're going to turn our attention towards any emotions that might be here. So maybe one, maybe many, maybe none right now. Maybe none that can be noticed, we'll say. And if you encounter any emotions that might be too much for this moment or overwhelming, you can always go back to the breath. You can open your eyes. You can shift your pose. Always taking care of yourself. But if you're with me, just noticing what's here right now, what's in the heart. And maybe even without labeling it, but just really feeling it in the body. What does this energy feel like in your body? Where do you feel it? And so we're opening up to emotion. And now once again, just taking in a deep breath and a long exhale. Now opening up your attention to the breath. Noticing the breath now. What's the quality of the breath? Is it long? Is it short? Deep, shallow? And can you be open to however the breath is at this moment? Practicing openness in beginner's mind. In each moment, there's a new breath. And now expanding your attention and allowing yourself to open up maybe just a little bit more and allowing your attention to just rest on everything. So noticing the physical sensations here, noticing the sounds, the thoughts that come and go, and the emotion that might be here or emotions that might be here right now. And just allowing it all to rest here in your kind awareness, bringing curiosity to the moment, openness in this moment, open to what is. So this is kind of like using a wide lens when you take a photograph, kind of going landscape, just getting a shot of everything right now. Widening your attention, expanding, opening, receiving. And meanwhile, there is a sense of kindness, of holding, acceptance in the moment. And whenever you're ready, shifting your attention to just coming back to the breath. Once again, noticing how the breath is flowing, feeling the breath in the body, noticing the sensation of the breath. Narrowing our attention again. And so there is this sense of openness in this practice, a sense of expansion, including it all. And this practice is so useful when we're in the presence of one another, when we're in communication. Being open means to just practice our beginner's mind in a lot of ways, to kind of come in, dropping in our perceptions, noticing the meaning we're giving to things. And then pausing at the same time. So we can pause to open. Gregory Kramer says, pause, relax, open. Relaxing into what is, noticing the tension in the body, noticing the tightness, and then opening up to how things are received. So mindful speaking really implies having the ability to speak to someone with awareness of what you're saying, noticing the tone you're using, noticing the words you're using. So it also involves listening, deep listening, and then using nonverbal cues such as kindness, compassion, and most importantly, attention. So this is the first thing we do. We open up to receiving, bringing up the sense of beginner's mind, noticing the meaning we're giving to what is being said. And then we relax into how we feel. So maybe doing a quick check-in with the body, opening up and noticing, just like we did in our meditation, kind of opening up, noticing the body, noticing what we're hearing, paying attention to any thoughts and emotions that are coming up as we listen to the other person, so that then we can actually speak. So in this pause, we're opening up to everything, to our entire experience. And this gives us a little bit of time, as Rumi says, before you speak, let your words pass through 3 gates. The first gate, ask yourself if it's true. The second gate, ask if it's necessary. Is it necessary for me to say that? And the third is it kind? So there's 3 gates, and then we pause, we open, we relax, and then we notice, what are my 3 gates? Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Right? So Buddhist psychology and philosophy also talks about, what is called right speech. It says, speak about something that is never speak about something that is not beneficial. The idle speaking that we get into sometimes, just killing time, just talking for the sake of talking. It says, never speak about something that is not beneficial, and only speak what is true and beneficial. And when the circumstances are right, whether they're welcome or not. And I think this goes a little bit about responding, right, as well. Taking action with our speech could be very important too. We revisited that a little bit last week. Where are we in our speech? What is our way of responding? And so really tuning in, opening, relaxing into the moment, right? And so then when we speak, we keep this in mind. Pause, relax, and open. And then we can take action also with our speech when necessary, but always remembering, is this true? Am I absolutely right about this being true? Is it beneficial? And is this the right time to say it? Is this the right time for me to say this, right? And if it is, and it's true and it's beneficial, doesn't matter whether it's welcome or not. Sometimes we need to speak up. So we need to really, but in order for us to do this, we have to come in from this place of wisdom, this place of opening, relaxing, pausing, so that we know we can dig into ourselves, deeply into our being, and know if this is something that is necessary and if it's the right time. So Gregory Kramer says, dwell a moment with immediate experience before speaking. or while listening. So stay in the moment while you're listening and while you're speaking. Let the thinking mind take a break. Just take a break. And then he says a pause temporarily rests in this torrent of habit, right? Our need to say something, our need to speak. And then there's a sense of acceptance here, right? As we open, we accept, and we accept. And when we accept, the mind relaxes. So acceptance is relaxed just as the body relaxes. So it's the same when we accept, the mind relaxes. This is what we talk about when we say relax in speech, right? And that doesn't mean that we're accepting what people are saying. We're accepting our experience. We're accepting how we feel about it. And then we open. So this is while we pause and relax, could be instructions for internal individual meditation, he says. Open invites us to extend this acceptance. So kind of just opening up like we did in the meditation, right? We're opening up to sounds. We're opening up to the thinking mind. There's a level of acceptance in this openness. There's this taking in what it is, noticing, really, instead of being closed like this, we're just opening up and accepting. And so as we close our formal practice right now, I'd like to just share a few lines about the pause. And I've read this before. It's one of my favorite poems by Octavio Paz. And it's called Between Going and Staying. So he says, between going and staying, the day wavers. It wavers in love with its own transparency. The circular afternoon is now a bay where the world is in stillness and it rocks. All is visible and all is elusive. All is near and it cannot be touched. Paper, book, pencil, glass, rest in the shade of their names. Time throbbing in my temples repeats the same unchanging syllable of blood. The light turns the indifferent wall into a ghostly theater of reflections. I find myself in the middle of an eye, watching myself in its blank stare. The moment scatters motionless. I stay and I go. I am a pause. So I thank you for your practice. I thank you for your kind listening and your attention.